I made a mistake. It's okay.
So welcome again to Behind the Scenes Show, of which you get to find out what happened during the week that you didn't see or know about. So again, my co-promoter, co-host, Vlado Platonik, the world's leading Grand Slam development coach. And what that means is no one coach has taken more people from obscurity or out of the top 100 into the top 100 and beyond. Welcome, Vlado. You've had a busy week.
Yes, welcome everybody. Very busy week. We were playing a pre-event, junior event in Traralgon in Australia, which is 2 hours away from Melbourne. After playing the qualies of the women's draw, it was a little bit change going to this junior event. Obviously, these events are smaller. It's a little bit lower kind of quality of accommodation, food, etc. The tournament is played in a park with probably 20-30 courts. It was crazy weather, a lot of wind the first couple of days. So in one way it's good because the junior players, they need to adjust and they learn how to play in these windy conditions. For us was a good tournament. Ksenia, she made finals. So obviously playing finals is always good. You can never be
very good
about it. So it was a good preparation, and now already since 2 days we are back to Melbourne, preparing for the tomorrow match of the first round Junior Australian Open.
Was it a 64 draw or 128?
64.
And how, just as a guess, how many nationalities were there?
Oh my God, many. I think all the possible nations: Thailand, India, China, USA, Australia, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Germany, all around the world. A big group of people, coaches, parents. Very crazy environment for a small club.
Yeah.
In this little city. It's, I think, 30,000 people city. But this is usual. This is usual for the junior tournaments. I would say we were still lucky because we got some chance to practice and also play a lot of matches. So more or less, we did what we wanted to do before the Australian Open.
Before we get on to the first week of the AO, I'm just building up a picture of the global best of the best juniors descending on one place with all their entourage and coaches. And every round is dog eat dog. I mean, you've got my dinner and I want to eat it. And your girl got to the final. So I think that's phenomenal.
Yes. She had the 2 very difficult matches. I really like, I would say, the opponents. It was tough 3-set matches, but I can really say that there is some future in women tennis and also men tennis. There were some really good matches. So she went through these 3-set matches, which was really difficult. Especially one of those matches was in very windy condition, and she managed to win. In a tough battle, like you said, it's really the girls, they were fighting for every point, and it was a quite good quality matches. Well, in the finals a little bit, maybe also Ksenia was a little bit tired, but the opponent was playing very good, very smart, and like I said, for us it's a preparation for the Australian Open. So we need to take the best out of the loss and try to make some adjustment for the Australian Open, because actually the players who played the tournament last week, they are all here. It's the same draw. It's the same draw.
So 2 questions for you. As you go through the tournament, you're bound to get physically and mentally tireder. You're bound to. So how do you combat that? and tell us why she came a plucky runner-up in the final rather than, win the final.
Well, we started to cooperate 6 months ago, and I think it's very good to play a lot of matches. It may be a little bit tricky. If you arrive late, we were lucky to play here on Sunday because the junior tournament actually started already today, and today there is a 39 degrees Celsius in outside, so it's really not pleasant. I think most of the matches actually were stopped now because there is a heat rule, and the matches outside courts are stopped for the moment. So we were quite lucky. We are starting tomorrow. The weather should be better conditions, and so we had also a little bit more time to recover and prepare. So I think regarding the preparation and the timing, Xenia is ready to play the Australian Open. And regarding the finals, yes, like I told you, we started 6 months ago, and there were some technical issues which were quite important, and she was not able to play as aggressive as she would need to, or as she was supposed to, because the technical issues, when every time she was trying to play aggressive, she would make mistakes. So we are working on that, and her game improved, and she did well. And from the previous interviews, that she won probably 4 or 5 tournaments out of 7 tournaments, which is incredible. And now she played finals again, but still I'm a little bit missing the aggressive game in her approach, and on the top level you can see that the girls are very aggressive, and if you play too slow, there is very little chance that you can get away with it.
Yeah, so it seems to me 2 things. One, so obviously tell me, Mark, you're talking rubbish. So one is that she might not feel she owns your new technique yet, so she reverts back to safety, which is then an identity issue when you're playing, for prize money and the glory of winning. So how do you train those?
Yeah, well, again, like you said, it's the trust. It's the trust in the coach. It's the trust into the technique of the shot, and it's getting better. It's getting better, and obviously with the pressure of winning or losing, the young player, she's only 16 years old. She's searching for the aggressive game that she can still manage without making enough mistakes, and sometimes also she doesn't understand that making a mistake it's natural, and if you are making 4 winners and 2 mistakes, you are winning the game, right?
Yeah.
So for me, she's a little bit afraid to make the mistake, even if it's a good mistake. I say that she was hitting with a good technique, with a good plan, and purpose of the shot. There is also a bad mistake, which I called bad mistake, is when she chooses a wrong shot, or she's choosing, or she's doing it with the wrong technique. That's a bad mistake.
Yeah, so and she's 16, as you say. I mean, so really, she's a child still.
Yes, so this is a little bit what I divide, and of course, I'm 50 years old, and develop a lot of players into top level. So obviously, through my eyes, I see things differently. For her, mistake is a mistake. It's negative, right? So I'm trying to teach her that if she did everything correct, and she hit the ball, with a little out, or in the net, close kind of things, that it's not a big deal. She needs to concentrate to play the game plan, the right game plan, the right technique, the right footwork, and with this mindset, she will put more balls in, and she will create more pressure on the opponent. So it's more about structuring the technical part and the tactical part together. This is what they need to understand. Like a lot of young players, they want to play automatic. Like when I talk to the young players most of my life, they are always like, I don't feel the ball, I want to play automatic. But I always say that your brain control your body and your actions and your tactic and your strategy. So many times, the young players, they are thinking, I practice 6 hours a day, and now, I don't need to think, I just hit balls. And it's not like that. It's not like that, because
No,
many
because
times,
backcourt and serving out there's
yeah,
pressure. So
yeah,
anybody, not anybody, but it's easy to play on the practice court with no pressure, relaxed, non-thinking, nice feeds. But when
yeah,
you're playing in chaos, that's very different.
exactly. The goal of tennis is to put pressure on your opponent, make your opponent move, put the ball uncomfortable for your opponent in your weakness. So uh, you need to deal with the situation. It's a situational sport. You cannot really predict. You have tools, to probably serve big or put pressure on the cross court and kind of lock the player, and then make the player more predictable, because you are dictating and you are kind of locking the player in some situations. But anyway, it's still unpredictable. The opponent has a lot of options to play the shot, down the line, cross court, spin, slice, angle, many, from every position there is 10, 15 options the opponent can play. So obviously, like, you need to predict, and also, on the top level, the players, what are
Yeah,
their, what kind of game they play, and what are their good things and bad things, and where they like to serve and where they like to return, and so on. So obviously you have a game plan and strategy for every opponent. It's the same in juniors, because the top 64 juniors are kind of meeting each other every week. So these are the things that you need to learn when you are 16. You
yeah,
are struggling, but these are the things. It's like going to this university and you are learning, to be a lawyer, or to be a
yeah,
doctor. You need to spend a lot of time to learn the theory, to maybe go on, operate on the person. And then you have all the knowledge, and you are kind of confident that you can make the operation
yeah,
of the patient, because you know all what you need to know. And this is the same with tennis. Like, you go play tennis, but you are struggling if you fail to kind of learn the theory and everything what is around tennis, because tennis is not just hitting balls.
yeah. Do you have, or you and coaches, do you have a data bank or a video bank of every opponent, or is it just locked in your brain and eyes?
So on the WTA tour and ATP tour, the coaches, we have access to a lot of videos of the WTA and ATP players. In the junior world, there is some streams, there is some ways to find videos from the opponents, but it's not that good as on the professional tour.
Okay. Well, any news or insights on the first week of the AO?
Well, there is some stories. Naomi Osaka, yelling "come on" between first and second serve, which was criticized by a lot of players, and also I will criticize it, because this is not kind of fair, and it's not something that
No.
top player should do, to scream "come on" between first and second serve. It's disturbing. It's not fair. It's not correct. And I think I was actually sure that there was a rule that you cannot do that. So I was surprised with the answer of the referee, because when Sorana Kirsta was complaining about it, she said, like, you are not serving yet, so it's not disturbing you. Uh, but like I said, like most of the top players and ex-players and commentators, we are all criticizing it. It shouldn't be allowed. Well, then there is a big fuss about the American young girl Ivajovic, which beat Paulini yesterday.
That's an amazing result because Paolini is no pushover.
Yes. So I was impressed. I saw Jovic 2 years ago when I was working with Lulu San. Lulu, she won a tournament in Naples, in Florida, $100,000 tournament, and Jovic was playing there. I mean, she was good, but she was still young. It was not something I would say incredible. But now I was watching the match with Paulini, and she developed very well. She's moving very well. This is her number one uh, strength. She's moving incredibly well, and also the technique got much cleaner. So she's everywhere very quickly with her footwork. She's playing very aggressive, very very active tennis, very very explosive, very very light on her legs. She's serving well, returning well. So she plays quite mature game for 18 years old. So this can be very interesting for this season to follow this player. I think Sinner today he was struggling unbelievable because was very hot, and he couldn't almost walk in the fourth set. He was losing 4-1 or 3-1. Sorry, he was losing 3-1 in the fourth set, and I was thinking this is gonna be very difficult for him to win, but he managed to turn the set. I think he was quite lucky because there was a little break because of the heat rule, and maybe this helped him. A lot of controversy also about Bublik, having some really bad comments about his opponent yesterday. I don't like this. I really don't like when these players behave like this, because it's not good for the young players. I also have discussion with my player because she can be emotional and kind of, how could I say that in a good way, a little bit rude, and by discussing with her, she was kind of finding excuses in Sabalenka behavior. So this is unfortunate. I understand the emotions of the players, and I understand it's difficult, but I think they need to think about their role models for the young kids. And then it's very difficult to coach a player like this, because they see Sabalenka is being rude to the team. Bublik is behaving rude to the team and to the people or whatever, to the opponent. So this is something that I don't like. I really understand you break a racket or you scream or you're angry with yourself, but I don't think you should go against your team. I don't think you should go against your opponent. Everybody's trying to fight, everybody's trying to give everything, and you should respect everybody involved in the game.
Yeah. So job one amongst elite teams, let's talk the military as well as tennis, is controlling your emotions. You need to control your emotions rather than your emotions control you.
Yes, exactly. But like I said, Rybakina is very calm person, and it's just the way it is. And like I said, like some of the players, there may be some, they're more temperament. And I know when I was a player, I was temperament, and when I was trying to hold, the emotion inside of me, it was kind of like I was not playing well. I was more focused on controlling my emotions than. And I can tell you, and I'm not proud of it, but let's say I would break 10 rackets, during some of the years of my career. But I would tell
you weren't heavily financially backed, so breaking 10 rackets is breaking 10 rackets.
Again, my career was not too long, but also not too short. So let's say in 10 years, I broke 10 rackets. But what I want to say is that when I broke a racket, I was angry at myself. I was not angry to my team or coach. I was not angry, or disrespectful to my opponent. And what I want to say, after these 10 matches, when I broke a racket, I won 9.
Okay.
So for me, it was like kind of I let out of the bad and negative energy, kind of.
Yeah.
and I came on the court, and I was the next point was, I was fighting. I was there. I was kind of feeling bad that I broke the racket, and I was fighting like hell, to make sure that I win, and then I don't regret breaking the racket, kind of.
Yeah, if only though there was a way of getting to that position without breaking a racket, that would be helpful.
Exactly. But this is me. This is how I deal with it. But Djokovic is breaking rackets. A lot of players are breaking rackets because
Yeah,
it's a lot of
the
pressure.
pressure cooker.
First of all, I think more older you get, more calmer you get. Second
Yeah,
of all, you have to understand that most of the good players are. I mean, we were getting the equipment for free, right? Because when you are on a certain level, and I don't want to mean again like, okay, I'm getting free rackets, so it's good to break them. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
the real problem was when I was 300, 400 in the world, 200 in the world. You know, uh, you like you said, you play to survive, and when you are so close to win, and you have a match point, and your opponent play a net roll, and you end up losing the set. Sometimes it's just like you get so angry because it's not sometimes you cannot even control these things. You know what I mean? You play great, you
yeah,
are winning, and then you have a match point, and your opponent on the match point, you play serve and volley, you do everything correct, and your opponent hits a late forehand behind the body with the net roll on the line, and then you end up losing the match. And this is something, like I said, when you're older player and you have a couple of millions on your account, I think
yeah.
you calm down because like you are more secure, you are more smart, you are more calm. But in the beginning of the careers, it's very difficult to control the emotions because you really play to survive. You really play to survive.
Yeah,
You,
yeah, because you might get another week. It might be your last match. Like, might be your last point. Who knows?
exactly. So I played a lot of guys, in my life, and I was beating a lot of guys, and I would beat them in 1 week, and they would like, I'm done with tennis, I cannot do
What?
it. And then the next week, suddenly they would win a tournament, and then they would qualify for a challenger, win another tournament, and in 2 months they were close to top 100. And when I was beating them, they would be 400. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So in future weeks, we'll talk about this:
Yeah,
how you tie your identity and how you feel to whether you win or whether you lose. And we won't do it now, but great
it's a
thing to
lot
talk
of
about in
pressure.
future weeks.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the two old men, Stan the Man and Novak, both of whom seem to be playing amazing tennis at 40 or nearly 40.
Well, again, we are talking about players. Stan Wawrinka, one of the best techniques in the world, amazing player, experienced player. So these two guys, it's all about being fit. They already won Grand Slams. Of course, Djokovic, legend. Uh, so it's all about being fit or not being fit. I watched the match of Wawrinka. It's another kind of thing that I want to point out. He was playing with this young French guy, and obviously he was playing fantastic tennis, but 1-all in the deciding super tiebreak. He wins the point, the French guy, and he's making funny gestures like he's fishing, and doing stuff.
Uh-huh.
And what happened the next point? He gets cramps. So guys, don't do that. Maybe some people like it, maybe it's funny, maybe it's entertaining, but don't be disrespectful because you know you're gonna get it back. So it was unfortunate because the super tiebreak, then it was easy for Stan. But again, like you see how fit the guy is with 40 years old, you know winning in 5 sets against a young guy.
Yeah. And Djoko's winning straightforward in 3 sets, conserving his energy and his mental power for later on.
I think Djokovic is a smart guy, and I think he did a very good preparation before this Australian Open. He's not playing as many tournaments, so it's quite interesting what he will do this tournament, because, like you said, he's going very fast through the matches, which is good because the Grand Slam is long, so he's saving a lot of energy for the future matches. Yeah.
And arguably, if there wasn't a Sinner and Alcaraz, he could even win another Grand Slam.
Yes. Let's see. I really thought that Sinner is down today. I think, I don't know if you watch the fourth set. He was barely walking. He was barely walking. He was feeling really bad, and I don't know what happened, because I saw that he's 3-1 down. He was barely walking, and then I was going with the bus to the hotel, and I just saw the live score 3-2, 3 or 4-3. So I was like, "Mamma mia!" Like, the guy is not walking, and suddenly he stand up from that.
So he had a hard pre-season too. I know he really put the time and effort in.
Okay, this, of course. I mean, these guys, they have great teams, great fitness coaches, great doctors and people around. So obviously, I think tennis is one of the most difficult sports, because you have to survive 5 hours on the court. You play 10 o'clock in the morning, you play 12 lunchtime, you play 10 o'clock in the evening. So you never know what kind of conditions you will play. And especially men's tennis, it's unbelievable how fit these guys must be, especially Sinner and Alcaraz.
Yeah. Any gossip behind the scenes, or politics, or little power play between the Grand Slams and the other teams, or ATP and stuff?
No, not really. I know that there is something going on with the PTPA. The Djokovic, he stepped down from the players.
Why did Djokovic step out? Because he invented it, and I thought everything was going well.
I don't know what's going on. Only he knows, and obviously it's difficult, because it's a fight for power and money, and I think honestly, if there is a chance, and there is a way to help the players who are ranked lower, 200, 300, I think it's very important for them that the tennis industry changes a little bit, because it's so difficult to make living if you are 200, 300 in the world. And I think if there is enough money in the Grand Slams and other tournaments, I think, and we can push the prize money up. It's not about the guys who are top 100 or top 10. It's about the guys who are starting, and young guys, 18 years old, 19 years old, 20 years old players. Being 200, you really cannot make a living. You are just losing money, and it's very, I would say, it's very most motivational for parents, for players.
Yeah.
Invest hundreds of $1,000s. Being top 200 in the world, top 300 in the world in your sport. And if there is the problem is, I understand, if there is no money, I understand, then we cannot change things. But apparently there is enough money, and the revenue, most of the revenue goes to the tournaments, and very little goes to the players. And I just think this needs to be changed. I'm 100% for this, because I want to support my job. I want to support my industry, which is tennis. And in other sports, in hockey, obviously there is more money, but also the percentage between the revenue and what's going for the players, it's almost 50-50. And in tennis, they are getting probably like 15% of what the tournaments make, which is ridiculous for me.
Yeah. And golf is a good corollary, baseball, etc. But the problem is that the future stars that put bums on seats and eyeballs on TV may not be the best players out there. They are obviously great, but they have sponsorship or endorsements or money to see it through. And there may well be better people that just can't get through because they got no money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you, because so many guys with 200, 300, they are really talented, but they just need to stop playing tennis because they just don't have the funds to continue.
Yeah. On a totally different topic, somebody got engaged last week. Yannick Hanfman got engaged and got through to pay Alcaraz, so he's having a good week. Do you know Yannick or know of him?
No, not really. Not really. I don't know him. So obviously, like there is another story, because Madison English, she got engaged and she's in the third round, and she went from qualies to the third round. So
Wow.
she must be happy. So yeah, I mean, you always will have these stories and these breakthroughs in a Grand Slam, and this is what you were talking about. That there is not a big difference between a 200 player and a top 50 player. There is a very little difference, but the player who is 200 is playing another kind of tournaments where you are not really making money and a lot of points. Vice versa to
And probably nobody really cares. You get a handshake if you're lucky and see you in the next country.
Yeah, once you enter top 100, you play for decent money and a lot of points every round. So, the level is similar. You just play for lower points, and it's difficult to just move into top 100. You have to win a lot of smaller tournaments to move to top 100. But the level is very, very similar, and it's just so difficult to get to top 100. So that's why I think like it would be so good, if we could support the at least 300, top 300 players in the world, men and women, so they don't have to start playing tennis, and maybe then when they really break through, we can have really some very, very good players in the Grand Slams.
Great. So just to finish off, what are you looking out for in the next week in the men's and the ladies, and of course, yours, the juniors?
Well, I'm really interested how Ivajovic will continue playing this tournament. Sabalenka obviously is the favorite. She's really special for the moment. She maybe you saw she signed a new deal with Gucci, which I think gives her another motivation to play even better, because this is a big deal for a tennis player in tennis world.
Tell me,
And
who did she sign it with again?
with Gucci.
Wow, I didn't know she was with Gucci. Well.
This is new. This is new. Obviously, then we have Rybakina, Swiatek. Good players to watch. Um, so from the in woman on the one in the woman draw, Madison Keys is defending champion. So I think it will be very difficult for her. She's losing a lot of points, and she didn't have a very good end of the year, so she may drop in the rankings. And in the men's side, I would, like I said, I'm very surprised with Sinner. Very surprised with Sinner surviving today. Um, Zverev is doing well. Maybe, I don't know what can happen, but maybe he can finally go very far in a Grand Slam. Obviously, Alcaraz without Ferrero now looks like he's going well through the matches, but let's see if he's playing next match against, I think, Tommy Paul, which may be interesting. The Alcaraz Tommy Paul match, but not really like big surprises anymore. No big surprises.
Okay, and how's your girl going to get on juniors?
So juniors, like I said, we have the same draws here in juniors that we had last week. Last week, a Brazilian boy won the week in Traralgon, and he went very easy through the draw. He's a very good player. He's very young. He's, I think, 16 years old as well. Has a big game, huge forehand, very good mover. So looks like he's the favorite for the boys title. And in the girls, obviously the Chinese girl who won last week, also very young, 16 years old. Um, Xinran Sun. She's playing very smart tennis, very mature kind of tennis, good shots, very solid. And then you have two Czech twin girls, sisters, Kováčková sisters. They are playing already a couple of years juniors, and they are top 10 for the last 2 years. So they are first and second seed, I think. And then obviously Ksenia is third seed. So it's in the girls draw. It can be a little bit more interesting. I hope Ksenia can take the title. We will do everything what we can to bring the Australian Open title. And in the guys, I think Miguel is a big favorite, the Brazilian boy.
Okay. Is your girl seeded?
Ksenia is third seeded, yes.
Okay. Okay, that's a nice number. So that there is some status, but there's not much pressure that comes with that seeding.
Well, again, she's young. She's 16. This year she's gonna turn 17. Again, I think she is capable of winning Australian Open, but also I want to be very careful, and I just want to go match by match, because the ball is round. The ball is round, and everybody's practicing, and I just hope that she will feel good, fit, good energy, so she can go through the draw, because it's five or six matches. I don't know. I think it's 5
And
matches.
a final question: do you get enough practice time, or do the big boys and big girls dictate how long they spend on the practice court?
Well, again, there is many offside courts that we can use, but we were lucky. We had all what we needed here in on site, and we were lucky to also hit today with Ayla Tomljanovic. She's preparing to go to Abu Dhabi, so she's a top player. So we had a very good practice with her, 1.5 hours today. And so no. I mean, obviously the adults, the men's and women draw, they have priority, but there is more than enough courts for everybody to prepare.
And did your girl learn anything about hitting against Anna? And did she learn anything about being in the final last week? The step up between top junior and adult.
Obviously, she knows, and I think she's getting, the experience, and I think I really think that she knows what she needs to improve. And again, it's all about practicing correct, in a correct way, not being afraid to make mistakes, not being afraid to try new things, and also like not being preoccupied with making a mistake in the practice, because there is nobody who just learn without making mistakes.
Yeah.
I don't know who said it. I think it was Billie Jean King. I think she said like it's okay to fail. Next time, fail better. You know what I mean?
Well, that's where growth and learning comes from. If there's no mistakes, there's no growth, there's no learning.
Yeah. Because kind of what I try to tell my players, it's like you need to go on the edge, right? If you are if you do too much, if you overpower, or if you are doing something wrong, you will fall. But if you don't go to the edge, then you lose, because your opponent is going on the edge. You know what I mean? So you are like, playing on a maximum speed, with maximum with trying to still control the ball and do the right technique and tactic and so on and so on. So these are the things where I think this should be the goal for practice. Always go on the edge and don't be afraid to make a little mistakes. In the match, you can still play a little bit more safe and
a little more safe, not a lot more safe, because you get killed. A little more safe.
Not a lot, because honestly, it's very, very aggressive style right now on both tours, and it's like in every sport. In every sport, everything goes faster, stronger. This is modern. This is where the sport goes. Faster, stronger.
Great. So, Vlado, thank you for this week, the news. We'll be here 6:00 Aussie time next week, and we might have a surprise guest or two.
Yes, I hope I spoke to some top coaches and they're ready to give us their opinion.
Great. Vlado, thank you very much.
Welcome.